Leading without a title is something that everyone should know how to do. Titles and rank give you authority. They give you legitimate power, sometimes legal, lawful power. But something that everyone should know how to do is influence others, how to show empathy, how to show up consistently, understanding what it takes to influence when you don't have the title and sometimes have to lead up to the people who have the title. It's about showing respect, because respect is given and then earned. You can't expect respect. You have to earn it. You earn it by showing up consistently. You show up by doing the things that you say you're going to do, by following through, being reliable. I could throw out hundreds of short bumper sticker statements about what it takes to lead without title, to lead without the authority. And I don't think leadership is misunderstood, but I do think there's a lot of things that are thrown around unnecessarily, like leadership is more important than management. That's one of the worst pieces of advice or modern pop thinking from influencers who want to throw out a tagline, leadership is more important than management. That is, if you hear somebody saying that, beware, because they're not good leaders. They're lacking in experience and education. The reason why I say this is you lead people and manage programs, and you have to be able to do both. You have to be able to do both. Because it's one thing to lead people, it's another one to manage the programs, to understand the processes that are necessary for predictable and reliable programs. That is part of leadership. It's not it's not a distraction from leadership. And so if you want to lead without the title, you want to lead with authority but without the position, you have to start by increasing your knowledge, skills, and abilities. Because it's hard to lead without authority if you don't know what you're doing. You have to, we refer to this as competence. Knowledge, skills, and abilities. So be good at what you do. And you hear like, well, no kidding. But there's a lot of people out there that want the promotion, they want the rank, they want the responsibility, but they really don't have the knowledge. So be really, really good at what you do and the details of what you do, not just the stuff that you like. Be good at all the things associated with your job. So one of the responsibilities that I have at my job is when we have requests from different leaders in our organization, we do a leadership assessment. And then the leaders request the assessment. Our office is responsible for sending out the notification to the person, either the employee or the potential employee, the candidate who might be trying to get a job. So we send out the code, we send out the email, they sign into the leadership assessment, they put in their code, they take the assessment. When they're done, we download the assessment. There's two versions, one for the coach and one for the person, the participant. And we download those, we save them, we send them to the person who requested them. We try to keep them pretty secure. We don't send them out to anybody. They're only available to very specific people, high-level leadership. And then they run with it and they do what they want with it. it's a very low level administrative responsibility. And it's something that I'm tasked with. And my initial reaction after learning this was, okay, cool, I know how to do it. Who can we pass this off to? Delegation is also an important leadership skill. However, you're not always going to be able to delegate what you want. Sometimes there are just some things in a leadership role you are going to have to do. And you have to do the necessary things. And even if you are able to delegate it, you're still responsible for the outcomes. You're still responsible to make sure that it gets done. So in the few times that I've made a couple mistakes, or I was delayed in getting the email sent out, or the candidate or the employee finished the assessment, and I was delayed in sending it to the leader, if it was highlighted, if somebody realized that I was delayed, if I was late, somebody would say something to me, hey, this is an important process, we got to make sure. And I heard that a couple times, and of course in my head I'm rolling my eyes like, got it, okay, whatever. But it's not whatever. It can't be whatever. It's, okay, got it, I made a mistake, I'm going to try not to do that again. That is showing up, being consistent. That is leadership, because it is an important part. Even though this could be delegated to my 13-year-old son, legitimately could be, it is a simple process that we need to manage so that the leadership of people can go more effectively. So not only is it management of a process, an important process, a low-level process, but a valuable process to the overall program. I'm responsible for it at the moment. At the moment, we're not giving it to somebody else. That was a decision made, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. It's not something I want to do. It's a low-level job. It annoys me that I have to do it. Sometimes it annoys me, but most of the time I just recognize it's really not that hard. If I stay proactive, I do it, I knock it out, get it done. I do it once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and then a couple times during the day if somebody specifically asks for something. So you want to be a leader, you have to show up and do the things necessary. You have to be good at your job. You have to increase your knowledge, skills, and abilities. And sometimes when you think, okay, got it, I'm good at my job, I have the knowledge, skills, and abilities, you need to recognize the more you know, the more you don't know. The more you realize you don't know. Sorry, I screwed that up. The more you know, or the more you learn, the more you realize you have a lot to learn. That is growth and learning at its extreme. Because there's some people out there that just want to learn so that they can pass on, or they can make money from it. They can go online, they can talk about it. I do this a lot with influencers, or I hate that term. People that want to tell you how to grow their numbers on social media, or how to sell t-shirts on Etsy or something like that. But when you look at it, their numbers aren't great. Their monetization isn't very great. Their sales aren't great, but they heard somebody else talking about it, so they're going to come online and teach you about it. If you really want to be great at something, you need to recognize there's always going to be something to learn about that thing. So always focusing on knowledge, skills, and abilities, and being okay with where you are, right? There's a balance here, because you don't want to, there's a possibility of detracting from your growth if you don't appreciate the path that you've taken up until this point. So appreciate where you are, but recognize there's always more to learn. That's a mastery mindset. So always recognize knowledge, skills, and abilities. Also understand that if you really want to lead people, you got to stretch yourself. You have to look for the opportunities to not only kill it at what you're doing, to give people 10 times more than what they expected, but also go for those stretch roles that maybe you don't fully qualify for, but accept that you might need some coaching, mentoring, education from other people. Ask questions, but still kill it at those things. Leadership is about showing up. It's about accountability. It's responsibility. It's character. It's leading through your values, not bullshitting people. The people that I buy products from, I appreciate the people that they're pushy, got it, they're sales. That's their job. But they're genuine about it. I don't mind being sold by someone who is genuine about the way that they're doing things and their process and the way that they talk and the way that they treat. It's the sleazy sales, the people that either don't believe in what they're selling, they're just trying to make a buck, or they talk down or to me or my spouse. So be genuine, and over time you are going to be able to present yourself. And I'm not even talking about very specific, like moving into leadership roles. I'll use my daughter as an example. At 26, she's getting ready to graduate with 2 degrees this year. She'll graduate 2 degrees, one in August, one in December, in medical imaging. And her desire is to go to medical school to be a radiologist. She has been working over the last couple of years with me on how to improve her resilience skills, because it's extremely stressful. How to improve her emotional regulation. How to deal with her perceived high level of anxiety. I say that because a lot of people own anxiety when they really shouldn't. That's a whole other conversation. How to deal with anxiety, how to communicate effectively, how to have a better emotional regulation, how to manage time, because she's extremely busy, which could lead to stress and burnout because there's just so much to do, but she's actually found a way to manage her tasks so she gets everything done and still has free time. That is number one, that's self-leadership. You can't expect to lead others if you don't lead yourself well. But also, she's consistently at the top of her class. She's respected as not only smart, but very competent in the way that she applies her knowledge, because there's a difference. And she is able to work well with others in the space. When there's conflict, she's better able to manage the conflict while also communicating, accepting what she can't control, and communicating and advocating for what she can control. That is absolutely self-leadership and team management and leading up. Great example of doing all the things necessary. Figuring out what you can control. You gotta let control go of those things that you can't. And realizing that the majority of leadership is leading self. Resilience, mental performance, skills, managing yourself under stress, managing your knowledge, skills, and abilities, and your path of excellence. Your path of excellence, not perfection. Excellence is the constant pursuit of getting better. Perfection is assuming that you need to be there. It's not attainable, not healthy. You can be excellent and still understand there's something to learn. You can be excellent and still understand I can keep performing and I can keep practicing. So, leadership is extremely important, and everyone should understand how to lead.